Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, amendments to the agenda.
None for me tonight.
Moving right along, approval of the minutes from June 11th. Looking for a motion.
Make a motion, we approve them as written.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
There's going to be a pattern here. Isn't there? Okay, any discussion? They look pretty good to me. All those in favor? Aye. We just bought the minutes. 5 minutes for public comment. Roseanne?
I just want to commend, so Fairhaven had their graduation this past weekend on 14th, and I wanted to commend them because they did a wonderful job recognizing the kids from Stafford and their accomplishments, even in the program. So I just want to give a shout out to Fairhaven Unified School District, Slate Valley School District. I just want to give them a shout out because I think they did a wonderful job.
Very good. Thank you. Yes, Lily.
I have a question, more or less asking for clarification. With respect to graduation, I had heard, I don't know if it's rumored or validation or not, that there was some vandalism at the high school. Could someone on the board or Mr. Gunn, could you please clarify if that's true, and if so, how much damage was done?
Can I speak for the board to say it probably wouldn't be appropriate for us to talk the that should be the high school and the school board. It wouldn't be appropriate for us to speak to it. Would be them. Mm-hmm. Nothing else? Department heads, and looks like well, we got a water. We always get one because we have to get a water. We have a water person. Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
Water's still going downhill. Downhill.
Yeah, flows from. I caught that.
Okay.
This week we are taking care of our lead and copper samples, which is every 3 year mandated test by the state. We received in 10, put out 13 bottles. We've got 4 more to pick up, I believe, tomorrow. And we'll get those turned in, and that'll be that for the next 3 years.
Good.
Our storage shed is just about finished. Got that. All of the roof up on that. If it stops raining or if not 110 degrees out, we will be getting our valve exercising done, as I had stated in the last meeting, but because of the weather, we haven't started that yet. The roof.
Yeah, your roof on your main building. How'd you make it?
Hasn't changed since the last time I was here. I haven't seen him one day.
He told me he put that on. He said it was done. Interesting.
The fissure's not there, but whether the roof was actually done or not, how can that be when you can see through the brick and underneath the roof?
I wouldn't call that done either.
That's why I'm saying no, it's not.
The roof.
It's far from it.
And that's the roof, and they're going to do fascia as well, right?
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but they're doing that also.
They are doing that also. The board approved that.
Mm-hmm.
So unless that got torn down today, I had everyone's out of the garbage today. So I haven't been up there today, but as of yesterday afternoon at 4 o'clock, that was not done.
Okay.
Hasn't been removed, hasn't been torn off, hasn't been removed. So I would not call it finished.
Okay. Good.
I haven't seen a rattlesnake yet this year.
That's a good thing.
No, I like.
Yeah, pets.
All we've had every year for the last 4 years.
I've seen the video from Ryan. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, the guy from the state is pretty impressed with how he did. That was a 6-footer.
Questions for Water or Mike?
I got one. We were doing a survey on lead pipes. Have we got any word on that yet?
I have not. I have asked Albert Genoia, who was doing the survey, how they were coming and all those photos they were proceeding. I haven't been in contact with them since May.
Okay.
Not passing the buck or not trying to do anything, but
I was just curious if we heard anything yet.
the water department hasn't heard anything. I don't know if you have heard or not.
No updates. No updates. They have been collecting information from locals, and there was somebody tooling around town. So if you see somebody with an A&E badge, that's him. But no, I haven't had an update. It's been about a month ago.
Okay.
And that project needs to be done by the end of this year, doesn't it?
October.
26.
Yeah, I
There you
thought it
go.
was October. Yeah. Good. Thank you, Mike. You're gonna do, yes.
So when you say their project needs to be done, are you talking about the replacement of the lead pipes that are still there? Or just the project being, finding out what lead pipes are still around?
Finding out.
Finding out.
Still around.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
And,
was gonna say, because
and my understanding is we don't expect a big number, that there isn't.
I don't believe there's any lead pipe in Fairhaven left. There may be a few lead goosenecks, which is the
Right.
connection from the home service to the water main. But as far as any lead pipe goes, there's nothing that anybody is aware of.
Right.
left.
I know Charlie did the, whatever, he did what he was supposed to do.
Good. You're gonna do police force and then yours?
I'll do a brief report for the police. Over the last 2 weeks, we've had 69 traffic and municipal violations issued. That's 845 for the year. 35 written warnings, no parking violations, and 3 car crashes. The PD has done 8 sets of civilian fingerprints over the last 2 weeks, bringing it to 101 total.
How many fingerprints?
8. You can have this.
That's always trouble numbers for me.
Questions for Joe on police?
Jump in, so it is June 25th. This is the last meeting before the new fiscal year. I'll bring the board just a quick overview on where we landed or where we're about to land with our budgets. O3O is looking great. They're at about 88% spent. We have a little bit more road work to do, so that number will go up probably closer to 90, 95. But they've done a great job managing a very tight budget.
And 030 is DPW, highway?
030 is highway.
Okay.
Sewer, they're sitting at about 91%. Again, there will be more bills for this fiscal year, but they'll land also anywhere between 92 and 95%. Water department, excellent job, Mike. Mike is at 99%. He'll also land at about 100%, maybe just a smudge over. And that's counting the, Mike's department has to deal with that big water main break too. So he's done a great job absorbing that and working through that problem. 010, which is everybody else, we're at 101%, almost 102%, sitting right now with 4 more days left. A little bit is coming out, but that's definitely going to be over budget by about 2 to 3%, which we do what we can. It's been a tough couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Bear with me. something that's sitting at 120% expended to their legal services because of the constant lawsuits that the town has to endure. The phone bill was a little high, and then insurance was also a little higher than we thought. But again, constant litigation will drive that up.
So we're not looking at a big surplus that to have to
No.
ask the voters to put in.
No.
'Cause I'm okay with working the numbers to come out right, but good.
We'll deal with this in a second. So, congratulations, guys. The excavator, we just paid off our last payment on the excavator. That bill, we won't have that anymore. That was $14,500 came out of the budget every year, so that payment is now gone. The fuel tanks that we replaced here in Town Hall, that payment is gone at the end of this year, so that debt will be retired. And we had that old green truck that we traded in. We have one more payment on that in October, and that's going to be retired. So we've done really well this year. We paid off some water and sewer debt. We paid off our equipment debt. Financially, the town is looking very, very stable. We closed out the bylaw modernization grant this week, and this is moving into my own report. That grant that we received to do the update on the zoning bylaws. We'll be getting that cash back, and that grant has been closed out. Let's look. Oh, I was going to report out that the water plant roof was done, but apparently it's not. 2024 paving is complete. We're moving on to the fiscal year 25 now, which starts July 1. The paver is going to be moving down to Liberty, and what's that one that runs up to the school? Cottage. So you'll see them down there grinding and paving. Liberty will be closed. We're going to close Liberty entirely, so that way the guys can get in there and do the job and get out. It's going to be a day. Nate has already talked to he has talked to all of the business owners. One person is upset, everybody else is rolling with it. Lights in the park, so the light poles have finally arrived. Those will start going in on Wednesday, tomorrow. Line striping is starting tomorrow and will end tomorrow in the parking lot.
Didn't align it?
Yes.
Oh, fine, wonderful.
Yeah. And that, okay, so we got, I think you guys were aware that the state told us we need a reappraisal for the town of Fairhaven. I just wanted to bring that to our attention.
.2, our CLA was 85 point something, but they had this conversion thing that you had to be 20% or under, and we came in at 20.2%. Yeah, that got us reappraisal. So we've got a letter from the state that we need to do, that they're going to expect us to do a reappraisal.
Did I not, I think that we discussed this at a previous meeting, and isn't the company that does the reappraisal, aren't we out like almost 2 years on that?
Everyone's having to do reappraisals. It's in all likelihood it could be a while before we get on someone's list that they can do us.
But is the state going to penalize us?
They won't. They know everybody's backed out.
Yeah.
Now, I also understood that they're going to try to force the towns to do a reappraisal every 8 years because of the education fund.
I hadn't heard that. I knew there was a bill that didn't get passed to do it every 6 years that didn't get passed, and they probably will take it up again, but I hadn't seen anything saying that it's gone through yet.
Thank you, sorry.
Anything else?
Now I need a little bit of guidance. The school did pass their budget. That impacts us because typically we
have to
set
set the
our
rate.
tax rate the first week of July.
Yep, and it's 4th of July week.
Yeah, the 4th of July week. We need to ask the select board today, does the select board want to send out 2 bills? Send out one, set the tax rate for the town, and send that bill out early July. And then set another tax rate for the school, and send it out in late July. Or will the select board like to change the date the tax bills go out? So that way we only send one bill.
I
Cheaper to send
would
one
like,
bill, isn't it?
right, I'd like to do it the most cost-effective way for everybody.
I'd like
Tax-
to,
One bill if we can do
One
it.
bill, if it's gonna save us money, let's save us money.
And
That's right. Okay. It'll save us a lot of time too, because it's a lot of volunteer work that gets sent in. So the budget was passed on the 18th. They have to give it 1 month to, I'll call it cure, I don't know what they call it. So that way they know if somebody's gonna petition to revote, which means July 22nd to the 26th will be sometime in that week.
Yeah.
We'll be able to set the tax rate and get the bills out. That's gonna push back the day the first payment is made, but only by about 3 weeks.
yeah, I mean that's
Okay.
that
So
question.
if we're going to push out the first payment, does that mean we're going to push out the rest of the payments?
No.
Nope,
Your
we go
first
right
payment-
on schedule right after.
So the first payment's due August normally, and
Usually
now
August 10.
now it's going to
But
be
if
due
it-
the 1st of September.
Couldn't we do
And
it?
then-
We will provide the date when it gets there.
Right.
I don't want
Right.
to say a date
When-
right now from the.
When you get the first-
November 10th.
Yes, it'll fall back in schedule.
Everything will be right back to normal.
I think
We
what
just-
you're getting at is
it would
when you get it, will there be a 30-day before grace period before it's due? If it's 3 weeks late, will it be a 30-day grace period or before it's due? Is what I think the question she's getting to.
I'm just like,
Like if you get it 3 weeks later than you normally do, that's okay. But when I get it, will I have 30 days because I won't know what that amount is to put that money together?
Oh, I see what you mean.
That's
So
what it-
whatever it typically is, I don't handle
I-
that side of the house.
I think
but
it's usually-
whatever it typically is,
last-
that's what just okay.
I thought the last time we did something late, it was 30 days from the date that they postmarked. But then you're right on.
I hear you, Glenn.
Well, I think we'd had one other time that there was, and it was 30 days from the
It would
date.
only affect the first one though.
The rest of them will all be, right in place. Yeah. I think that's, do you need that in the form of a motion or?
You know what, it wouldn't hurt.
I make a motion, we send out one bill.
The week of the 22nd
Whenever-
of July?
whenever the
I
school-
Okay.
can't guarantee that. I
Whenever
can't
the
guarantee.
school-
Well, we send out whenever we get an order, okay.
I'll second that.
Any other questions,
What is the motion? Send out one bill.
Send it, well,
with the school and the municipal taxes?
when the school gets their program together, we'll send out the bills then. I guess.
Right. We had 1 year, a few years back, where we sent out, we didn't know what the school was, and we sent out the municipal, and then it was catching up and redoing the whole thing again.
I remember that.
We really should do it. So are you all set with the motion to pay the municipal taxes and the school taxes in one bill versus two? I think that's what it all boiled down to. Yeah. And it was seconded by Mr. Dorn. It's easy when you have fewer people, know who the first and the second is.
I'll figure it out.
And, okay, we know what we're doing. All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you. And then Munger Road, we were supposed to have a meeting last Friday. That didn't happen. So I would like to repost this with the board's approval for the week of 9, 10, the week of August 11, and I can get a hard date once I get all the postings up and ready.
Are you gonna try to keep to the same day and time, or are you gonna you'll come with a?
Well, it's up to you guys if you want to do it. And
Fridays work best for me. So.
Per day and time we're doing.
As long as it's in August, right?
I just need time to post.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be
August 16th,
Friday,
That-
August
if that works for the board.
August 16th at 9:30 a.m.
And
Okay. Do you need a motion on that, or is that good? No.
No.
Good. Okay.
Oh man.
Anything else?
No, that's what I got for you.
Questions for Joe? I hear our bathroom got vandalized again.
Yeah, but not too bad. Some young kids got in there and they splashed. They took all the soap out of the soap bottles and spread it all over the walls and pulled all the paper towels out of the dispenser and threw those all over the floor. So
Okay.
Now, was this done during the day when the bathrooms were unlocked?
the bathrooms are unlocked 8 to 8, so it was during the day. The town employee that was down there saw, not saying it was them, but saw some kids tooling around, kind of eyeing him as he was down there cleaning the place. So he's suspecting it was some preteen boys. But yes, during the day.
Okay.
school's out, there's nothing to do.
Moving, manager report done.
Yes, sir.
Moving on to old business, and then we have a cemetery tree removal.
Yep, so this was, Miss McNeil had some concerns about some trees over at the cemetery. We did have Nate, DPW foreman, and then the guys that that maintain the cemetery take a look. They found 3 trees. One is a monster pine, almost right in the middle of the cemetery that we want to take down, that we're going to take down. There's a smaller pine closer to the shed. And then there's another, I don't know what kind of tree it was a smaller tree still. So there's 3 total that we're going to take down after July 1.
And we're gonna take all 3 of them?
We're going to take all 3 of them.
This is at Cedar Grove.
Yes.
Go ahead. Question?
When we take them down, are we going to replace them with young trees?
I don't want, there's a cemetery committee and everything else, and for me, I've got any planning of trees, I'd rather let the committee that's charged with, even though technically we're the cemetery commissioners, but there's a committee that works on there. I would want them if they,
Rick, are you on that?
no, I think it's Paul Laramie, Danny Roberts,
I would recommend it
Neil.
if we do put trees back in, to put something back in, other than a pine tree
Oh,
that
right.
creates such
Yeah.
a problem as we've got to deal with now.
Exactly.
Some small, some dwarf style tree.
So, do we have a bid or a quote that you want approved for that, or we have to?
No, so far we only have 1 quote, because the big tree is going to be expensive. We need to get 2 or 3 depending on what the costs are looking like. So we'll bring those back to the board once we get the quotes in hand.
Okay, good.
I know there was some concern in the community. We just wanted to get that out there that yes, we've heard the concern and we're going to take care of it.
And I just want to make sure, sometimes we assume that we're communicating when we're not. Someone's going to get back to the cemetery committee and say, this is what we're doing. We've identified 3 trees, and and this summer those 3 trees will be, and that way we might save them coming thinking that we're ignoring them.
Sure.
Thank you.
And we did invite the cemetery, well, at least Ms. McNeil, who expressed her concern.
Okay, good. Moving right along to new business, Lister's salary.
Yes, list your salary. So it's that time of year, July 1 starts new salaries, or, salary rate, starts our raises. The select board sets the salary for the listers. We did Sharon, the head lister, did a little bit of research. I followed up with her on that. She was recommending $16 an hour for our new lister, Jack Adams. The average in the state is $19.16. So he's coming in a little under, if the board approves it. But for Sharon herself, she has 11 years of experience. And we're requesting $21 an hour for her, which is a $2 pay raise. I looked into our surrounding communities. Castleton has they have an assessor, which is a little bit higher level than a lister. That person is making $27 an hour. Pulteney does have listers, and that person is making $26 an hour.
What, do they have similar years experience? Or do you not?
I don't know about Pulteney's experience. But 21 seems to be...
Sharon's comfortable and...
She is.
Okay.
With a decade of experience.
With,
I mean, I think she's a little underpaid.
okay.
As we try to bring people up, I think this is the right thing to
You looking for a motion here to pay these two, our two listers, this one, the new lister, the $16, and our lead lister, $21 an hour?
do. I would need a motion, yes.
I'll make a motion to approve Sharon 21 an hour and John Adams at $16 an hour.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We're good. Errors and omissions.
So this is a lister's, and we'll need this signed. This is a lister's document. Michelle Beatty, I think that's how you say it. There was, on her assessment, there were two parcels, one with a house, one without a house. The one parcel was being charged the same amount with the house, the same tax amount with the house, even though there wasn't one there. So what the listers did was they went back and made a correction and categorized that the property without a house as inactive and combined the two properties, which is per state law. So also per state law, the listers need to send this to the select board so that way they can review and then sign off that they understand, that you guys know about the change.
Okay. So you're looking for a motion and then signatures, right?
Please.
I'm looking for a motion for Mitchell Beatty's on span 216-070-10088 to change that from the $111,700 change to zero.
Change to zero.
Is what I'm reading. See, I read it, the motion for, so now I need someone to say
Need a motion for that?
yep.
Make a motion and we do that.
I'll second it.
Change from what to zero?
$111,700 changed to zero.
$111,000 worth of taxes?
No, it's probably the value of the they took two properties and combined them into one, and they had to zero out the one, is what I understood.
So they were charging for two homes, one home that was not there?
And one home wasn't there. So we're taking the one home that was 11,700 and fixing it. That's the error
That's the error.
that we're fixing. So I have a motion, I have a second, we know what we're doing. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None? $625.24. And while we're signing that. You want to talk to us about a security camera bid approval that you're looking for?
Yes. So the town of Fairhaven approved $106,000 to install security cameras on the green, in town hall, and then at the playground to help stop some of this vandalism like we just talked about. We created and put out an RFP that was open for a month. I had 3 interested parties, 2 parties submitted quotes. The low bid came in from Royal Group at $104,345.64. Shimra Integrations also put in a quote for $107,863.
Are you recommending one or the other?
To be honest, I spoke with both, and I would recommend the low bid to Royal. We've worked with Royal in the past here in Fairhaven, in Town Hall, and they do excellent work.
What's the name of the other company?
Shimra Integrations.
Can I see that for a second?
Is that
Where are they at?
Chimera.
Is that how you say it?
Here's the two.
Chimera?
Here's the two.
Chimera.
Okay, Chimera.
Chimera, it's Chimera.
Yep. Do you know that?
No, but I've seen it before. Chimera. I'm not. Would you say integrations?
Integration.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Royal, and they're pretty solid, and they're the low bid. So I agree.
Schools use Royal, so they're pretty big company.
We use them here in Town Hall.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve Royal's low bid.
I'll make a motion that we accept Royal's bid for the cameras.
And do you need part of that motion to say you sign for who's signing this thing?
No, as long as you have a motion and I have some minutes, then
Oh,
it's legit.
you don't need a signature from them.
I'll second that.
Questions or other comments? Know what we're doing? All those in favor? Aye.
Do you want the amount in the minutes?
Would you?
Okay, next on our agenda under new business is cemetery deeds. We have a cemetery deed.
We have one cemetery deed to Robert and Christina Kilburn.
Would someone like to?
You guys are signing them.
Make a motion that we sell the cemetery plot.
I'll second that.
Questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. And we'll need your 2 signatures under mine. Yeah, they don't put an extra line there, but you just put it right there, you go. Now you're gonna pull the multimedia presentation. Oh, I like this. Thank you. Okay, next is our water and sewer budget. Joe, what are we looking at?
So this is our calculation for water and sewer rates for fiscal year 25. What we're looking at, this is based on what the board approved at the last meeting. So I can read it a little bit. Your water budget came in at $485,560, which is that guy right there. Sewer budget came in at $607,899. These are our base charges. this is the total number of money you get from your base charge. So the $38.50, that's how much you're getting from that revenue, miscellaneous revenue, and all that totals into a water rate of $8.62 per 1,000 gallons. This is a 50-cent increase. Same with the sewer side. We took our total minus our base charges minus our miscellaneous revenue. That gives us a rate of $14.32 per 1,000 gallons, and that is a reduction of 20 cents on that rate. The sewer base rates and the water base rates, at least as of right now, have remained the same.
Are staying the same. So when we're looking at this, it looks like the sewer went down by 20 cents. Water went up by 50 cents. When you get to water and sewer bill together, it looks like for those on both water, we have some people that have just water and not sewer, but if you have the two of them together, it looks like a 30-cent type of an increase. I thought one thing when I looked at it, it was, if I'm going to have 30-cent increase, that's the place I want to have it, because this one here, sewer being that much, being quite a bit more. So the impact that you really are seeing on this, the 30 cents is probably, of your total bill, is going to be less than that. It's going to be probably in the 20
Because
cents.
it's spread over more people.
Yep. This, what's your pleasure, folks? I mean,
These numbers
Well-
are per 1,000 gallons.
Everything's going up. Everywhere, everything you do, everything you buy goes up. So to keep this minimal amount, I think is pretty darn good.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that sewer's down 20 cents in this economy is
It doesn't get much better than that.
right.
I just hope down the road we don't regret it.
You'll be okay.
You know,
I feel pretty good. I feel
we should be good for this year.
I feel pretty good. It's, and no need to raise the rates. So if you're comfortable, I don't know if you have any, I just am looking for a motion to accept this proposal, these rates, and then we can, there's the regular sheets you make out.
Yes, and then once you get this approved, we'll print out the sheets and we'll get those signed up.
Make a motion, we approve it as is.
I'll second that.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous. And we made it just under the wire, folks, because this has to be approved before July 1. So we're good.
Better slow down. We're a whole hour ahead.
You guys are doing great.
I'm happy.
Yeah. It's nice to.
Okay, number 10 is our revenue efforts discussion.
I actually have a little bit for that today.
There we go.
So, I don't know if you guys got it. It looks something like that. It was an email
I
from
did.
the state of Vermont.
I did see that.
So this might have been back in late 22, early 23, we had a revenue committee come together and kind of brainstorm about ideas try to brainstorm and get ideas how we can increase revenue for the town of Fairhaven to offset taxes. One of those ideas was opening a transfer station up to our surrounding communities to bring in the revenue from those folks, charging them at a higher rate than we would charge our residents, but kind of building on that economies of scale and to create some revenue there. We reached out to the state, and the state solid waste says, yeah, you can do that, and feel free to start whenever you want to. So what I'm asking the board is, if you're comfortable with that, I'd like to bring a proposal either to the next meeting or the meeting after that for non-residential rates at the transfer station.
Would we have a separate permit for non-resident, or same permit and just a different rate?
I would do a different permit, a different color, because it would be too
Different
easy
color
to,
in order to tell what you have.
yeah.
And this, and just so I understand why we're doing this. This is so our punch tickets that we're now paying, if we can generate enough revenue. The residential the punch tickets are $20 a piece. If we're generating enough revenue, we may be able to make that less than $20 a punch ticket, is what you're hoping.
My question is with this, as you know, sometimes the recycle bin can get full by just the end of Saturday. Would that require an added recycle bin? Would it require an added, those are expenses that may be foreboding or eating up whatever income may come of that. And what would the percentage of increase in tonnage be for hauling?
Yep. I think part of, understand what you're saying, that if you're going to handle more, whether it's refuse or recyclables, what the proposal is going to have here's the estimate of what is, and that helps us figure out what we should be charging. Because if we're not going to make money, to your point, you don't want to lose money. You don't want to cost money to do it. But that's you'll be bringing that'd be part of the proposal. A cost, I think they call it a cost benefit analysis of the thing. Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We also need to make sure, if we're going to do this, that we aren't going to charge more than the other towns. I actually was asked by a friend of mine who lives in a different town if I could put her under our dump sticker because it's so much cheaper here than where she lives. And I was like, I don't think that would be a wise choice.
Right.
There's a good opportunity. A lot of our surrounding communities charge a lot of money to get rid of garbage. So if we're down here and they're up here, there's a nice middle ground.
That's what I was.
Where people could be, right.
There's economic opportunity there.
Right, I think it's gonna be like a beneficial thing to contractors versus hauling to Hubbard's or whatever.
And usually the only question I would have when you do something like this is you start with what's the price? What are you making? What's it costing? But then you go, what's our capacity? In other words, I don't want taxpayers getting upset with me on Saturday because they have to sit in line for 25 minutes because the capacity to handle is that's not how I want to spend my Saturday. So that it might be a one of saying, is this one that it's, I know we have all kinds of probably time on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or I don't know. I don't want to put the proposal together, but I'm just saying
Is it even possible to have a different day?
Oh, that part of the proposal. It could be it's this day, it's this day, or whatever. It'd be an interesting thing, but there's usually some gremlins that you'd expect you'd have to work out. But is it a great opportunity to look into?
Really
I think it's worth looking into. See, you may come back and go, hey, it was a great idea that we couldn't make work, but I'm all for it. If you're looking just for direction at the board to say, bring a proposal, it sounds.
I think it's worth looking into. I really do.
It's worth looking closer at.
I will bring you something in the next few weeks.
On that same one, we talked a little when we were talking water and sewer about some folks selling some water. Did we? I know we need that flow back. What did you call it there? The
Backflow prevention.
Backflow prevention before we get too carried away. But
well, as Joe said, I'm right at budget. I
wait till July 1 so we can buy that thing and then sell some water?
We've already spec'd it out, he's just waiting for me to tell him to pull the trigger and it will be loaded.
Yeah, because as that water's flowing downhill, I'm all for making a few $1,000s and selling some water this summer. Yep. Good. Anything else on revenue efforts from the board members of any thought?
Something I've kind of been toying with, so we've just had the whole park and ride redone, and you know, I know parking's limited. So the apartment buildings, so the building owners not have parking they supply to their tenants, does it kind of fall back on us? And do we get anything for that? So I've been kind of thinking about potentially a parking permit for those, either the building owner or the residents, because that's falls back on maintenance on us, not them. They charge, I don't know, what, $1,000 an apartment. What besides, you know, besides taxes, their vehicles are left all over. I mean, before we had it, you had junk vehicles all over the place. You had a motorcycle out here for a month to cover it up that's been moving around. So I've been kind of, I even took a ride out back there because I haven't been back to those buildings in probably 20 years. And there isn't really a lot of them, but I've been thinking about potentially proposing like some kind of parking permit for those residents. So I don't know what.
I jotted down is when I don't know if Bob was sitting here whether when they got their zoning and they got their permit, if anything was done, but yes.
That's not a bad idea.
I mean,
If you're going to do that though, I hate to say it, but you also have to look at the people who are working downtown.
so
If the people, the tenants should be in the further, assign the tenants in the further.
right, they shouldn't get prime parking spots in the parking right up front. That should be reserved for the people that are coming here to spend money in town, not
Or work.
or work.
Hi.
So, and when I drove out back, so in back of what is now the Trap House and Lucy's. So my parents owned that building 20-something years ago when they had the clothing store, and that was their own little private area. That looks like it's become kind of a mutual parking lot back there. Is that are residents parking back there, or is that people that work downtown parking behind that? So there was quite a few cars back there, and I couldn't figure out who.
The right behind the laundromat
Yeah.
is parking.
Okay.
Mostly, my understanding is for the people who work at the laundromat and the tenants
Okay.
upstairs. But like going down farther, there's nothing.
Right.
There's nothing behind our building. Where the Woods Agency is.
Right.
There's nothing
No,
there.
yeah.
And, I mean, we don't even have enough, barely enough room to have our garbage cans out there.
Right. Yeah. No, I didn't realize how narrow and there wasn't all that. So then again, it's been 20-something years since I've really been behind there.
But and the only reason I know about that is because I was speaking with one of the ladies that works for the laundromat, and she was telling me.
Yeah, that's something I've been kind of thinking about for a while now, and I just didn't know how we feel about that, or if it's.
No, I'm just my initial. I always say, okay, where are the pitfalls? From an economic development standpoint, if you want those apartments filled, the people living have got to have a place to park their cars that are living there. So,
Right, but that.
how it gets paid for, there's a lot of different ways of doing that.
Right.
I don't think we're saying where they have to go. What I heard you say was,
Right, but like.
is there a parking permit or a way that the people who own the buildings, part of what there's some kind of fee for using
Town.
town parking.
Right, because that's essentially park. That's
And
my mind. That's for people that's coming here to spend money. I mean, granted, I know you're renting an apartment, but like, we're talking about, when we killed that project, parking is a big commodity here.
Understood, but before we, John?
I understand the outback parking, and you got the one right behind the laundromat and trap house, and then you kind of got the one a little further that's a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Now, if you take that one, and I know Maple Street runs through there, if you dead end Maple Street, right there, where it drops off, and you extend that out to the foundation, or down to the other side, you can gain parking.
Yeah, so I saw there was like that little house, and then there's like spot that you could have 4 or 5 spots, but it said no parking there, so I didn't know if that's private property.
I think it's private property. It's not town property, so
That's
that's.
why I said if you dead end the Cottage Street, or not Cottage Street, Maple, because there's not a really lot of traffic flow down that, and you just turn it, Maple goes all the way back out to Liberty, instead of down to Cottage. And you can extend that out and gain parking spaces back there, but that would be obviously rip the town road up and building that.
Yep. But good,
Food for thought.
it's a good,
Right, I tried
part
squeezing
of, part
through
of
there
putting
with my truck
this
and I was
down
like,
here
man,
should
this
just
is
throw these out to talk
sketchy.
about. Some are gonna work and some are.
Right.
Just as a matter of point, before the Park and Ride project was worked on, several of the people who work right in our area on the north end, we were parking on the east side of the park. So we didn't have to park, we kept the people, the parking places in front of the businesses for our clients. When they closed off the Park and Ride, all the tenants that had been parking there then took all those parking places where we were parking. And they don't seem to have moved at all, even with Park and Ride now, except for tomorrow, now open. So we've been parking over in Park and Ride.
I think it's worth someone, or if someone wanted to go and put some stuff together in a proposal, half of it is having the time to work on a proposal.
Regarding the Park and Ride, I was under the impression that it would, both sides were going to be one way, so it was going to be in one way and out the other. But no, it's the other side.
There was a meeting well into the project where there was concern from one of the businesses that they needed two-way traffic on one. So it's one way going in from as you're coming down Main Street, but it's two-way on the other side.
When they make the lines, are they on that side, Kennybrook side? Are they going to be straight, or are they going to be angled?
Those are gonna be angled.
All of the parking places will be angled.
Everything's angled parking.
Okay, good. Anything else on revenue before I move us in?
I do have one thing. We did almost get it going about charging vendors in the park, and we rescinded that for this year. We're gonna revisit that at some point.
I'd like to see an August meeting
I'd like
myself.
to see that get revisited
that
this
we
year,
bring.
so we can put that into place for next year.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, it's a no-brainer for everybody pays quite a lot of money for this stuff. We should at least be getting a little something to help defray our costs.
Yeah, it's a good thing to put back on an agenda now. We're in the new fiscal year.
Yeah, we'll make sure we have it. Nothing else. Moving right along to the parking lot. Unless you have, that list is, we've gotten down there fairly small, but I don't see anything. So I'm gonna, unless you tell me to stop, I'm gonna move right along to the board roundtable, and Rich.
I have nothing.
I've got, this is probably more for Joe. So our roving DPW, he likes to post a lot of photos. He posted a picture that he's at the dump cleaning up. Why was he there cleaning up the dump when we have people there that, in my mind, should be cleaning up and doing the maintenance there. So I don't.
That was actually one of the primary reasons we grabbed it, is because it gets out of control down there.
Okay.
The guys do go out and clean, but with traffic coming in and
Yeah. No, and that's
so
that's
he's
right.
like he was clean.
No, and that was I was just curious why, when I've seen post pictures of him recovering a lot of these overgrown sidewalks and stuff, why was he down at the transfer station? But that's the reason then.
Ed?
Okay, I had, just as a heads up, Economic Development Committee has been working for the last couple of months on looking at our current junk ordinance, and we were trying to find ways we could help the appearance of the town, and just wanted to make sure and check in here with the board to say, hey, look, as we move forward, we're taking the existing ordinance and getting it so it includes things like height of grass on lawns, but also piles of garbage, and that line, and instead of writing a new ordinance, just tweaking the one we have that deals with junk cars and on that line. If the reason I wanted to just bring it up, Chad is on Economic Development, so he'll know, so I'll bring Bob up to speed. But I just wanted to make sure that we didn't put another couple of months of work into it, come in with something, feeling we got this great proposal for you, and say, what are you doing looking at that? So I was just curious what your thoughts.
I brought this up because somebody came to me with concern about property on the south side over the tracks about junk vehicles, and I asked, and I thought we said that was non-enforceable, that junk ordinance was pretty much non-enforceable. Yeah, and then I thought that's what I was told, is this pretty much could not be enforced, because somebody asked about, somebody complained about junk vehicles at their neighbor's house that haven't moved in years, and I'm pretty sure I brought that up probably my second or third meeting.
I remember talking about
And
that.
I can't remember if it was Bob or somebody said that was pretty much a non-enforceable ordinance. Maybe it wasn't Bob.
Because we've actually written tickets and quite a few tickets for junk vehicles. We're pretty good there. Where we were failing is piles of garbage left when people leave a place and sitting outside forever, or no one keeping
So the current junk ordinance we do enforce.
Let's talk after the meeting. I've had some good success with this.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a lot like when you talk about, rather than writing new ordinances, it's like our 2-hour parking downtown. You can have an ordinance if you don't enforce it, but it doesn't mean it's a bad ordinance. Could be a lot of reasons for why you don't, whether that be staffing or you name it. But I'm just saying, I just wanted to make sure that if we had some folks who are saying, oh, don't look at that, we don't, but we were getting a lot of feedback, and we tried to look at something to help with the overall appearance, because we have a pretty good ordinance that says how many junk vehicles you can or can't have. And some guidelines there. We just wanted to add some other things to it. Go ahead.
So when you're working on this, are you also working in something to the, like, you're talking about tall grass. Our grass right now is at least as far as I'm concerned, is pretty tall. But my husband tweaked his back 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he's just coming out of it now. Are you working some kind of exception?
Well, I'll take that back. We're really at the early stages, but the early stages are saying after a certain height, it's one thing to have no mow May, but no mow May, June, and July probably not going to fly. I mean that clearly would be outside. But what we were trying to build into the ordinance, rather than exceptions, is to saying, look, if it exceeds this, there's different remedies, and some of it could be going and mowing and adding it to the tax bill at the place, getting it done or whatever. I don't know. We're way early in that one. But the whole intent was to deal with. We have a few folks who are doing a pretty fair job. I think when I look around town now, in these times, doing a pretty good job. And all we're doing is saying, hey, let's take existing ordinance and see if we can clean it up a little bit, because it's rough. If you're the next door neighbor to somebody who is well, I mean, so unless I hear you say stop, you're going to be seeing something probably as early fall. I think we'll easily, as an economic development, we'll be having a proposal for modifying, tweaking that ordinance here coming. Okay. And that's all I have on that. Review of the financial reports. Wait till you're ready. I'll make a motion to pay the payroll of $39,401.74.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Aye. Make a motion to pay the general warrant of $456,585.52.
I'll second that.
In that was Wilt's paving with $223,025. Belden had $41,541. The new mower, the $33,000 was in there. And there was a grant reimbursement of $49,953. Just in case you're saying that's a lot of money. What is it? That's what it is. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. There is a 2025 warrant, which these are things that need to be paid as of July 1. So I'll make a motion that we approve the 2025 warrant for $99,818.14.
I'll second that.
I'll have a second. What makes up that is the Vermont League of City and Towns Insurance, which was $42,130.25, and we had a water bond of $39,097.27. They needed to be paid beforehand. Understand it? Good. All those in favor? Aye. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
I'll second that.
Wait. And you just need someone to say the motion to go into under personnel 1 VSA 313A1. Okay, now second it. Did we get there? I'm trying not to be the one to make the motion, but I didn't. Huh? Okay. We know what we're doing. All those in favor? Aye. Good. We'll be going into executive session.